Hey everyone, and welcome back to Remember This Tech. On today's episode, I'm going to be doing another PC haul review. I picked up a bunch of free stuff and I'm going to be going through it with you today and seeing if anything works, what are some of the specs, and hey, just show you what I got. And maybe later on we'll do some testing on it in a future video. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so you don't miss some of the new and upcoming content. Check it out behind me. I don't know if you could see it before. Got an old Dell here. It got like an older gaming PC here, which I'll show you. Two laptops, and there's a screen looking thing back there. I don't know if you can see. So without further ado, we're going to start one by one and go into them and see what the specs are. And even if they work, and maybe later on I'll do a video of a repair video or what have you to get them up to speed and test them and bring them back to life. So without further ado, come on, I'm excited. Let's get going and explore this new haul I got. Come on, let's go. The first one on the list, I'm kind of the most excited about this one. And I did a little bit of surface cleaning so that it wasn't crusty and dirty and disgusting. And what I looked up from the Dell service tag was that this is a Dell XPS 27-inch 1080p 1, and it's a 2720 model. And I haven't checked anything, but this is what it says. It's a 3.1 gigahertz Intel i7 4770 4th gen processor. It supposedly came, according to the service tag, with a 2 terabyte hard drive, and it might have a 32 gig SSD as a Intel Boost technology. It had a DVD RW slot drive, Windows 8 64-bit Pro version, and believe it or not, this thing is supposed to be a touchscreen. Okay, I don't know. I mean, it could be, but it shipped with two 8 gig sticks of DDR 1600. It had a graphics processor, an NVIDIA GeForce GT 750M, the mobile 2 gig card with DDR5. Now, really too up to date on those mobile chips from back in the day. And it was released in 2014. And it had a media card reader and like tons of USB 3.0 ports and RJ45, HDMI, bunch of stuff. Yeah, that's very descriptive, right? Without further ado, let's plug it in, see if it works. What's the worst that could happen? Give me something more to repair? Come on, let's check it out. All right, it's plugged in, power. I got a keyboard and mouse, and for this purpose, just for testing, we are going to just power it on for right now and see what happens. Heard a click. For all I know, the power supply is dead. This is a great video, everyone. Nothing's coming on, nothing's starting up. This may be an internal power supply issue. We have nothing. So this will be something that I have to troubleshoot and take apart, and we're not spending any more time on it. This looks intact, but until I can actually pull it apart, maybe there's an internal, if the power supply is anything like the iMacs, it's built in and it probably overheats and probably died. But the only way I'm going to get into it is actually take it apart and do diagnostics and troubleshooting. So without further messing with this, let's get on to the next piece of equipment. Come on. Alright, this next piece of ancient hardware is the Dell with the front flap broken off, but it's a Pentium 4 and it's probably like anywhere from a 2 gigahertz to, you know, maybe a 2.8, and it's got just a DVD and a CD-ROM drive burner, and I'm gonna plug it in and we're gonna see if it powers up. Well, the power button's green, and we've got boot. Alright, we're in the BIOS. I was wrong, close, but let me zoom in for you, everyone. Looks like we have a Pentium 4 here, 2.6 gigahertz Pentium 4 with a 512 L2 cache, and it's a Dimension 8300 series, and I wonder if it could take a 3 gigahertz. If it can, maybe I could drop the 3 gigahertz that I have in here. That'd be interesting. It's holding the system time, roughly. So that means that the battery is good on the motherboard. And we've got 4 gig of DDR. Nice, 400 megahertz. Dual channel mode support. Wow, and AGP as well. That's not bad. I mean, that gives us hope, right? Yep, 800 megahertz front side bus on that. Not the fastest Pentium 4, but it's a good start. And these BIOSes for Dell, they are really minimalistic, to say the least. Let's see if we can't get out of here and see if we can get it to post boot. All right, definitely, let's crack this open now, because I think that maybe the drive's dead or maybe they pulled it. I haven't cracked it, so can't tell what's in here if the hard drive has been taken out. So these old Dells had like a scissor case design, and the top and the bottom buttons kind of like opened it up like a Pac-Man mouth or something. So alright, so we're pulling the card. What do we have here? We have an ATI, but it has a DVI, which is good, but it has a TV capture card in here. Looks like an all-in-one Wonder Pro. Maybe not a Pro, but yeah, because we have the video in and out as well, and it works. So I can't pull anything off this card. It's so dusty. It's gross. And that's what it looks like. It looks like an all-in-wonder HEI. Could be a 9700 series, 9800. That card, working condition, it's a pretty nice score, regardless of anything. AGP, retro. What else do we have in here? So it has 4 gig of RAM, and like I was able to see in the BIOS, it's got 4 slots, dual channel. It's got 4 gig of DDR RAM, Dell memory, and they're good. Yeah, I suppose I shouldn't get like so excited about this, but I have to, because I mean, even if I'm not going to use this PC as my everyday, or upgrade it or make it into a retro little beast, it's great that it's working. And the hard drive's gone. Good. I'm glad that they took their data with them, because I don't want it. I don't want anything to do with it. And then there's a modem card here. PCI. Anybody want another modem card? I got like 50 of them. Alright. And this is I think it could be an 815 chipset. I don't know. 845. I can't see anything, so I have to kind of. It's an E21882, and I have to look it up. But usually I take pictures, and that'll kind of give me an idea of what this can and can't support. Oh my god, there's so much dust in here. So gross. So gross. Fully working, aside from the hard drive, PC, Dell, Pentium 4. And let's button it back up and go on to the next one. Of course, I didn't test CD-ROMs or anything like that, but that's beside the point. The video card in here alone, plus the RAM, is worth it. And that's not a bad score. That one works, right? Alright. Might be my new retro gaming machine. Pentium 4, juice it up to 3 gigahertz maybe. We'll see. Stay tuned. Let's get on to the next one. Come on. And it was a complete computer. Video card, power supply. As far as I can tell, I don't know if it has a hard drive, but it's got a DVD burner drive up front, USB 3.0, Thermaltake case, and the video has DVI out and HDMI out, and that was my first tell that, hey, this probably isn't that bad of a PC. Better than the Pentium 4 I just showed you, I'm sure. Now we're gonna pop it open and find out what's on the guts, oops, on the inside, and then power it on and find out what we've got under the hood. Ooh, it's still, I did dust it out, but it's still dusty. So we got an EVGA 600 bronze, 80 plus power supply, no hard drive, okay. We have DDR3 and we got 16 gig of DDR3. We've got the DVD burner drive I said. And this is a cool design. It's a Radeon R series, and I looked it up, and what I found is it should be a Radeon HD 7870 Coolstream Edition, 7850 or 7870. So I don't know what the processor is. I'm gonna plug it in and find out what's going on and get in the BIOS. So let's do that. All right, the first try to boot this thing up. We have power. Fan's turning. Oh, we got video out. Oh, wow. Everyone, might have a cool score. Not the best thing in the world, but I caught it on the boot BIOS when I was booting up. So, all right, so this is a gigabyte board here. This is a Gigabyte GA 78 LMT USB 3.0 R2. Supports AM3 Plus platform for socket. Supports the FX chips and Phenom 2, Athlon 2, and the X6 series CPUs. It supports dual channel DDR3, 4 DIMM slots, has integrated HD 3000 graphics, which I don't care about. And it has a 4+1 phase power phase for up to 125 watt AMD CPUs. So in the BIOS here, we're running at 3500 megahertz CPU with a core boost up to 4100 megahertz. And the DDR is set at 1600 megahertz, which is fine because that's what it is. And holding the date, oh, you know, great. It sees this DVD-ROM drive, but there is no hard drive. So yeah, there's that. 3x PCI. I think it's PCI Express 3.0, 2.0. And we're running at a cool 37 Celsius. That's not bad, and if I was going to use this, I would definitely go ahead and re-paste it. And this should boot, and it should show you an FX 6300 6-core processor. Not the fastest, you know, in their line for the FX series, but it's got an AMD 6-core processor, an FX series, one of the last of the line, just after the X6 series, the Phenom 2. They came out with the FX series, which were pretty much not great performing, but it was before they went into like the Ryzen series. So this was they had 6-core and 8-core CPUs on the FX line. And this is kind of like their mid-range between their 4 and 8-core FX series chips, 6300 series. So if I clean this up, get a hard drive in here, this is going to be a good test machine because everything's working so far. I haven't tested everything else, but the RAM's good, the CPU is good, the power supply is good, even the video card is good. I am happy I picked this one up. Just because it ejects this and it works, everyone. Yes. So that's another great score. A 6-core FX 6300 CPU with 16 gig of DDR3 RAM. That would be like like $17. Woo! But that 7800 series, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's good retro card. It's good for the era, and this is great. Score. Let's see what we got next. Next item of the haul reveal and testing is a laptop. I have a Toshiba laptop here, and what's cool is that it looks pretty much not brand new, but it looks really good shape. And oftentimes you'll find a laptop or whatever and you won't have a power brick with it. I got the power brick with it, so that is a plus, because sometimes the batteries don't work, they don't charge, a whole bunch of a litany of things that you have to go through. Now I pulled the specs on this system, and it's a Toshiba Satellite P75 A7200. I haven't booted it up. I don't know if it works, but this is what it should have according to what I pulled. i7 4700 mobile processor, 3.4 gigahertz. Should be running off the Intel HD 4600 graphics from the chip, the CPU. And it should come with 8 gig of DDR3, 1600 megahertz. The display on this thing is, if it works, and I'm not holding my breath, is a 17-inch display at 1920 by 1080p. That's what I got. So without further ado, let me show it to you. It's kind of fancy. Look at the keyboard. It's like, isn't it like brand new? Yeah, I wiped it down because I'm not going to touch it before I go ahead and test it, but it's got like a metallic finish. The screen is huge. Don't know if it works. I could have picked up somebody's junk. I don't know. Let's press the power button. Lights up. Screen's coming on. Is it coming on? Oh, Toshiba, how do I get into the BIOS? I don't know. I don't think I pressed the button. Well, there's a hard drive in here and the system booted up, and of course I don't have password yet, but the system booted up pretty quick. I couldn't even get in the BIOS. So, well, the time's wrong. It looks great. I mean, I don't see any problems so far. So, I'm going to try to look up the key to get into the BIOS, and I'll try to hit it really quick to check at least the specs for y'all. If not, I'll have to wipe it and, go from there. But this is a fully functional, as far as I can tell, i7 4th gen quad-core laptop. But this thing is completely usable as a replacement desktop the way it sits. Alright, let me look up that BIOS key and I'll be right back. This is awesome! Woo! So yeah, it is an i7 4770. I popped the back to look at it. Battery's holding a charge, by the way. It's got a hard drive here, right? And then there's a secondary hard drive bay for a secondary hard drive, which means you technically could put like a mechanical drive, a large one, and configure a SSD for a boot drive, which would be kind of cool. And I don't know how or why it booted, unless there's 4 RAM slots. There's no RAM in here. How did the system boot up? It's got to be more than what I can see underneath here. Wireless card. So I couldn't get into BIOS. What I'm going to do is just put SSD in here, and then we're going to, you know, get this system up and running without somebody else's data on here. But it's fully functional, and this is the score. And we've got one more system in the back of us to test out, and we'll do that in a second. Last but not least, from my haul, I got a Sony VIO. It's a smaller laptop. I don't know what the specs are. Got the charger with it too. I could have looked it up earlier, but I didn't have time. It's a SV151DL D11L. There's a service tag on here. It's Windows 7, so it's Windows 7 or better. Could have been upgraded. It looks a lot more used than the other one. It's got an i3 in here, and I don't know what gen it is, but you can see here it's quite used, but maybe it's still functional. The only thing I can do is try to turn it on. Troubleshooting. We are booting. Huh. Somebody left their hard drive in here. What a surprise. I don't know what people are thinking, but they do this all the time. It's probably just slow, or maybe it's like the hard drive intermittently having problems, or it could be overheating. I don't know. It's definitely a mechanical hard drive. It's slow as molasses in January. I'm probably gonna have to put like a small SSD in here, go through the troubleshooting process. I thought I was trying to boot up, but hard drive light is on. Who knows? Didn't catch the BIOS. It's a Sony VIO. Alright, well, we have a cursor. I'm just very impatient because I'm used to NVMe's SSDs, but cursor moves. Oh, somebody didn't have a password, and there's a dog. Oh, I'm gonna cut here. I'm gonna pull up the system specs, and I'll give those to you. And so far, it's really slow hard drive, but I bet if I put a SSD in there, thing's gonna be pretty screaming, and it'll probably make a really good Linux Mint portable machine. So give me a second. Let this thing finish loading. It's about as old as Methuselah and is slower than molasses in January, but that's because the mechanical hard drives probably pull full of whatever. So be right back. All right, so this system here has an Intel i3 2370 mobile processor at 2.4 gigahertz, 4 gig of RAM, 64-bit Windows Home. The hard drive, which is dying, 500 gig hard drive. It's really slow. Put an SSD in there, but to be honest, you know, I wouldn't spend a ton of money on this system. It's a small win for my last haul. You know, I think maybe 14 bucks. Put an SSD in there and put Windows 10 or probably Linux Mint would probably run better on this machine. It's minimum specs, and Windows 10 would be a little bit difficult to push around. But I might be surprised. Maybe I'll try both. So let's review the haul of what we got. What was I most excited about? I was most excited about the Toshiba laptop with a i7 4770 in it. That was a nice haul. It had tons of expansion inside there, room for 2 hard drives and lots of RAM slots. I think I'm gonna yank the mechanical drive and put a 500 gig SSD in there. I think that'd be a really nice spare laptop. What else? I was really excited about the ATI All-in-Wonder graphics card, the AGP from the old Dell. Not so much about the Dell PC. I'm glad it worked, but that graphics card was my excitement piece from that haul, from that Dell. The gaming PC, the old AMD 6-core FX 6300, wasn't the greatest in the world, but you can put an 8-core CPU in there. You could, you know, from the FX line, might give you a little bit more power to play some games nowadays. Not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but power supply works, the motherboard's good, 16 gig DDR3, 7800 series Radeon card, 2 gig. It's got potential. Maybe we'll use it for a way back review. But that was a great haul overall. Really sad that I couldn't get the 27-inch all-in-one Dell PC to work. But hey, you win some, you lose some. And it'll give me something to tinker with in the next 2 or 3 months when winter hits. So thanks for coming along with me on this haul review. And thanks for watching Remember This Tech.